Hey everybody, it's the Diamondback 45 here, and I thank you for joining me again on this review of the Salt 1 by Spyderco. There you go. This is a purpose-built knife angled toward fishermen, deckhands, basically people working in and around saltwater, but I think it's a lot more than that. I think saying that this is a purpose-built knife only is selling it short. I absolutely love this knife, and I rarely say that with knives. I usually have some type of criticism, and I do have a few with this one. But for the type of use that I put it into, I absolutely love it. There's no other knife that's matched this one for the role I put it into anyways. So what's the big deal with this knife? Basically, it's equipped with H1 steel. As you can see right there, I have kind of a laser etching there. And with this steel, Spyderco claims that it will not rust or corrode no matter what. And I find that to be 100% true so far. I've had it in salt water, I've had it in mud, dirt, fresh water, and then baking out in the sun. No rust whatsoever. Blade looks a little dirty and stuff, and that's, I don't oil it. I don't have to. And that's why I wouldn't sell this blade short to just purpose-built. This is your forget-about-it knife. All your other knives, excuse me, you have to clean, oil, to prevent that rust if it gets really dirty. Say you go out on a trip, hiking, backpacking, whatever it is, or even if it's just out to work and you get home, your knife's dirty, you have to clean it. You don't have to do that. You can just fold it up, toss it aside and forget about it, come back to it, and it'll still look good. And the reason that the steel does not rust is there's no carbon in this blade at all. Instead of carbon, they use 1% nitrogen in place of that. And it's, as far as the steel's performance, it's definitely lived up to my expectations and surpassed it. So let's dive into some specs real quick. Our blade is 3 inches. Overall length is 7 inches. It's from 2.5 millimeter stock, as you can see there. And the weight is what I'm digging on this, is about 2 ounces, which is perfect. So the roll I put this into is EDC, because it's your carefree EDC. You don't really have to take care of it. Oh, that's not true. You got to take care of it, but you don't have to worry about corrosion and be stressed out about that. So the overall feel in the hand is good, and as you may have noticed, it's basically a Delica with some changes to the blade, of course, the blade shape, and it's really familiar with the Delica in your hand. Our handle material is FRN, fiberglass reinforced nylon, and the texturing on that is medium to high traction. Pretty good. I've been impressed with that as well. They say it's the volcano pattern on the texturing, but this reminds me more of the older Delicas with that waffle or tiled pattern. There we have the Spyderco bug logo, clip it, and then Salt 1 on the bottom. And our pocket clip. Typical Spyderco pocket clip. I believe these ones are made of titanium. And our attachment, which I really like, is no torque screws or anything like that. Basically, the tool you need to adjust this or reverse the pocket clip only costs you 2 cents. And that's because I use 2 pennies on either side. And that's what I love about it, is you don't need to find any specific tools or anything like that. And the lanyard hole goes right through it. So if it comes loose and you have a lanyard on it, you're not going to lose your pocket clip, which has been great. And also, this is, being my water knife, I basically attach a piece of paracord here, about 2 feet long, and then I attach the other end of it to the inside of the pocket of my board shorts, aka swim trunks. And then that way I can fold it up and have a knife in my pocket when I'm in the water and I don't have to worry about it corroding or anything. The hardware is, they don't say that it is H1 steel, they say that it is treated with, so it will resist rusting, and I found that to be true as well. As you can see there, it's a T6 and a T8 Torx, which is also new to I believe to the 2012 model here. Before, they were just riveted, and you couldn't take them apart, and you couldn't adjust the action on the blade, the deployment speed on the blade, or the lockup or anything. because they were just riveted, but you can adjust that now and take it apart and get the sand out of there that you will get in there if you have this at the beach or in the water, which is a vast improvement, I think. It is a lockback design, as you can see that engage. Good authoritative click. We have David Bowie detent here, and that's going to help you find the locking bar with gloved hands or in the dark, and then also if you over grip the knife, it's not going to disengage the blade. You need to decisively push down on that to close the blade, which has been good. So let's come in on our blade here. We have the deployment hole is going to be oversized, 14 millimeters instead, for your gloved, wet, and cold hands. Now, deck hands working on a boat, they have a little extra, real estate there to open the blade, which I like. I wouldn't mind if Spyderco made the holes larger on all their knives. So I'm digging that. The deployment on it is a little sluggish. It's not gonna, you can't really flick it open with just your thumb, give it a little wrist action, and you can do that. And that's just because of the locking bar pushing on the tang of the knife. Now, like I said, you can adjust it, but I found that if I make it loose enough to where you can flick it open, then I sacrifice the lockup in the blade play. I get some blade play with that. So I have it just tight enough to where there is no blade play, and it comes out nice and smooth. So our lockup, as I just said, is good. No up and down, side to side movement. Blade centering is good. It's right in there, right where it needs to be. Nothing's rubbing. The blade isn't rubbing against the FRN or anything like that. So let's come in onto our blade here again, and our jimping. With this 14 millimeter oversized hole, it gives you an extra aggressive thumb ramp coupled with this jimping here. Let's see if I can get focused real quick. There you go. It's dirty because I've been using the knife, but that's why it doesn't look so beautiful. But it grips the thumb perfectly. Your thumb's not going anywhere, and it's the gauge of the jimping is so thin that it doesn't irritate your thumb either. But no matter what I do, I can't get my finger to move on that unless I decisively try to. It's kind of a leaf-shaped blade, and comes down to kind of a sheep's foot tip. Now, not a complete sheep's foot. You still have a little bit of a point there. And the reason they did that is this is aimed more toward, deck hands on a boat. If you're, rocking back and forth on a boat and you pull out your knife, you need to cut a line or something. They do the sheep's foot tip, or I should say modified sheep's foot tip, is you're less likely to injure yourself should you accidentally, stab yourself or something, as opposed to something like this, the Kershaw nerve. Just as a comparison in tips, imagine you're working on a rocky boat and that'd be a bad day. So I could definitely see why they did that. But I say modified because it does, you do have a little bit of a point there. It's not a total sheep's foot. The blade is hollow ground, which I'm not a huge fan of, but in this knife I haven't had a problem with at all. I prefer a full flat grind. But the hollow grind comes high enough up to where it's not really an issue, not really bothersome. And then here's your relief edge. The H1 steel itself sharpens fairly nicely, holds an edge okay. That was one of my worries. But it hasn't had a problem. Edge retention's been really good. There's your relief edge there. I believe a 20-degree relief edge on that. So, fit and finish is good, as with most Spyderco products. I have not a problem and no criticisms with that. It's just perfect. When you get a Spyderco knife, you know that you're getting quality, and if you don't, they'll usually take care of it. And the Salt 1 has definitely met that expectation as well. So, and of course, and as always, I thank you all for watching. Please subscribe for more videos like this. Go check out my channel. Of course, comment, because I love hearing from you guys, and I will catch you next time. Thanks.